back to the qualifiers. Now I'm going to talk about who's next on the list. CAF, CAF, or the Africa region football. Their qualifiers are still going on. They changed it a little bit, so now they have the first round kind of like with UEFA, where they have all of the teams just start out in groups, and then um, whoever ends up in first qualifies directly to the World Cup, and then whoever ends up in second place goes to like a second round or a third round to try to qualify to the World Cup or the Interconfederation playoffs. In this, I wanted to look at these groups because they have. This is September. Okay, so their round here that they're currently in, which is well, it's the first round. Um, they finish in October, so they have 2 games in September and 2 games in October. And then after that, whoever ends up in first qualifies. So right now, Egypt is leading Group A, which makes it look like they're going to end up qualifying directly to the World Cup. And Burkina Faso is in second place, and they're kind of away from Sierra Leone, and who's closest to them. So Burkina Faso has 11 points. Sierra Leone has 8 points. So they can still technically reach them out, but honestly, it's kind of likely that Burkina Faso is going to take that second place. Group B, we have a little bit of a surprise. DR Congo is on top of Senegal. DR Congo has 13 points. Senegal has 12 points. Sudan has 12 points. So this group is gonna be interesting to watch in those last games because literally nobody is qualified yet, and I don't. And are any of them playing each other? Let me see who they play. So in September, Senegal and South Sudan play. No, not South Sudan. Sorry, Senegal and Sudan play each other. So that game is gonna have to be a must-watch for anybody who's a fan of Senegal, anybody who's a fan of Sudan. Senegal just beat England, so that has made a lot of people um, speculate about the possibilities. And then Sudan, if Sudan loses this game, if I mean if Sudan plays 100%, that puts them in a bind. If Senegal loses, uh, it puts Senegal in a bind. It only puts wait no because right now they're tied in points. So that is something that's going to have to be like they're going to have to watch. And then the next game in September, Senegal plays DR Congo. So they go, yo, okay. So then in September, everybody has to watch Senegal versus Sudan and then DR Congo versus Senegal because those 2 games are going to be heavily important um, to who's going to qualify directly and who's going to end up in second place because it's right now between 3 teams. Uh, wow, I'm missing out so much. And then yeah, and then in October, they DR Congo versus Sudan will be in October. So if nothing is solved by that point, that game is going to be the definitive one. Uh, but we have to wait and go through October first. Um, Group C, we have a reviving South Africa, who is 13, who has 13 points. 13 points. Um, and they're 5 points away from second place, which is surprisingly Rwanda. And I say surprisingly because Nigeria is in this group, and they're in fourth place right now with 7 points. Now, Nigeria could still technically qualify through the second round, or qualify to the second round to try to qualify to the World Cup. But I think the big issue here is that Nigeria is in fourth place. that is the one thing that a lot of people are concerned about. This is a team that whenever it came to what teams could qualify to the World Cup, like directly, Nigeria was always one of them. So this is a worrying moment. This should be a worrying moment for Nigeria because instead of fighting for that direct ticket to the World Cup, they're fighting for that second place against Benin, Rwanda, and why not Lesotho? Heck, even Zimbabwe, who's only 3 points away from Nigeria. So this is this is a very tricky situation for Nigeria, and it's going to be the second time that they don't qualify to a World Cup. They didn't go to 2022, and I don't know. M- Uh, maybe I don't like to. It's one of those things that we have to kind of like watch. So Nigeria's next games. Let's see matches. Okay, so Nigeria. Oh, Nigeria faces Rwanda. That means that if Rwanda somehow beats Nigeria, I wonder if Nigeria already played. Okay, so Nigeria already played Rwanda at away, and Nigeria won 2-0. So the expectation then here is that Nigeria can do the double and they can go on top of Rwanda. However, this is soccer and this is sports. What is on paper does not mean or does not equal that it's going to translate on the field. If Rwanda beats Nigeria, that is going to be a big hit because now suddenly they find themselves uh, with 3 games left, and they're going to be 4 points away from Rwanda. And so this game is a must win for Nigeria because then their next game for Nigeria is against South Africa, who's basically cruising against everybody. Um, let's see, did South Africa already play Nigeria? Yeah, and they tied 1-1. So I mean, I don't know, and South Africa is going to be home in this one. Um, so yeah, Nigeria has to win this one. They have to win against if they won. On the other side, Rwanda has to beat Nigeria in order to keep their um, aspirations of going on to this next round. Um, and heck, why not get closer to South Africa if South Africa drop points? So I don't know. This group is very interesting. Group D, Cape Verde and Cameroon are essentially playing against each other to see who qualifies directly and who goes second to possibly to the second round because everybody else, Libya, Angola, Mauritius, and Eswatini, they're kind of done. I don't think they're gonna bounce up. If they do, congratulations, but no. And then there's Group E, which Morocco. It's not official yet, but 100% is going to happen. Um, 15 points, first place, and then Tanzania in second place with 9 points. So at this point, it's to see who is going to qualify. Jesus. Uh, this- oh, okay, because they were suspended. Never mind. Um, sorry, it's because I saw a note from Congo that they were suspended. But now it looks like, yeah, it looks like second place is going to be between Tanzania, Zambia, and Niger. So that group, you know, if I mean Zambia and Niger can still go into that second round. So it's going to be between those three to look out for that group. Group F, yeah. Group F has Ivory Coast coasting through 16 points in first, and then Gabon also coasting through with 15 points. So This group, I think it's just Ivory Coast and Gabon to see who ends up with that direct ticket to the World Cup. If Gabon somehow tops Ivory Coast, this would be Gabon's first World Cup appearance, and then Burundi is in third place. They might try to put pressure on Gabon, but uh, it doesn't look good for them. And then there's Kenya, Gambia, and Seychelles, who's already eliminated. Group G has Algeria and Mozambique cruising through. Algeria a little bit more. They're in first place. Mozambique in second, and then there's Botswana, Uganda, Guinea, all kind of hoping to put pressure on Mozambique, and then there's Somalia, um, who's dead last with 1 point. And then Group H, there's Tunisia and Nambia. Tunisia is essentially cruising first place with 16. Nambia is second with 12, but Liberia is in third with 10. So they're putting pressure on Namibia. Equatorial Guinea is hoping that these next couple of games they can also get into the fight for that second place. And then Malawi, I think they're done. They have 6 points, but I mean it's gonna be rough when you're half points away from Namibia. And then Sao Tome and Principe is already eliminated with 0 points. The last group is Group I, which is Ghana and top. Oh, so Ghana finally, where they're supposed to be in first place with 15 points. Comoros in second place with 12 points. Madagascar in third with 10. Mali in fourth with 9. And then African Republic with 5, which I think they're done. And then Chad is already officially eliminated. So this one is between Ghana and kind of Comoros with Madagascar and maybe even Mali trying to put a little bit of push pressure on Comoros. For those of you who don't know, the semifinals has the top 4 best second place teams. So there's 9 groups, and as of right now, Gabon, Cameroon, Senegal, and Namibia are all in sorry, are all the top 4 second place teams. They're going to go to the second round where they have semifinals and they play each other once. Then they have the final, and the team that wins goes on to the Interconfederation playoff. I feel like I skipped the group. Oh no, never mind. I was right. Anyways, but that is the CAF, or the Africa region. A lot to go through because there 100% we might see qualifying teams um, in the next FIFA qualifier dates in September and October. So those dates are going to be very interesting to watch.